Hello, and welcome to a stream that was voted upon by folks on the Twitterverse. Today we're talking everything Resident Evil video games, novels, comic books, live action movies, animated movies, whatever you have, I will chat about. But before I get into the topic, I want to introduce you to some awesome people. First off, on my right here is my gorgeous girlfriend, Jen Mitchell.
Hello.
And while she isn't the biggest video game aficionado, she did watch the first Resident Evil movie, and she is a big horror aficionado. So her info and input is highly coveted in this conversation.
I don't
Also
think
tonight,
so.
I think so. Also joining us tonight is a fantastic VTuber, fantastic gamer, and fantastic individual on Twitch. Longtime friend of the channel, Wabanashi. Thanks for joining us, Wab. And lastly, another fantastic friend of the channel, one of the oldest friends of my YouTube career, Ethel Cross. Ethel, thanks for joining us this evening.
Hey, hello.
So yeah, it's awesome. I have three fantastic ladies with me tonight, and we're going to be discussing the Resident Evil franchise. And yeah, so a bit of a history lesson. Resident Evil was created by Shinji Mikami. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, but fuck it, I'm not Japanese. But it was essentially a follow-up to a video game he wanted to do called Sweet Home, which was based on a movie, based on a Japanese horror movie. However, Mikami was like, you know what, I want to see zombies because I'm a big zombie aficionado, but I want to keep the haunted house element. So that's how we got Resident Evil, and there is 8 games so far. For the most part, they're fairly solid. In the middle, they got a bit ropey, but there's a lot of lore, a lot of characters, a lot of good movies, a lot of bad movies. Actually, I'm not. No, there isn't a lot of good movies. There's a lot of bad movies, but but by and large, though, it's a cool universe. I was introduced to by a late friend of mine, Rose. They were a massive fan, so much so they actually changed when they transitioned. They changed their second name to Ada when they transitioned. They loved the games that much.
Cool.
But I digress. Um, so, Jen, I'm gonna leapfrog for a minute. I'm going to go on to Wobbs because I think Wobbs, you probably like me. You're a gamer. What's your first kind of interaction with the Resident Evil video games?
Oh, I still distinctly remember playing the first one and walking into the mansion and the whole finding the body, and it was an amazing I did not like the tank controls. That got a little getting used to, but like
Yeah,
Resident Evil, like I still like Silent Hill better, but Resident Evil has a special place in my heart for similar reasons. Like the first time the dog jumped through the window, that scared the absolute. That had never happened to me in a game before. I about shit myself.
yeah. It was great. It was a great kind of setup and stuff. And like, who did you use when you were playing? Did you use Chris or Jill?
I think I usually used Chris as much as I usually gravitate towards the female characters. God, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
They all kind of
Chris.
mash together now, to be honest. All of the Resident Evils. I will
Sorry,
always
Wobbs?
remember Leon. Oh, they all kind of mash together now for me, though. Like the Resident Evils, like have a hard time remembering which one's from which. It's just all kind of one big story.
Yeah, I again like you had so many characters coming back, and like everyone recognizes Chris because he's the guy who punched the boulder. But back back in the day before he went punching boulders, he was essentially the hard mode. I think maybe he was a bit
Hmm.
sexist in that, like, if you want the easy mode,
Be
play
a
as
girl.
Jill, and if you want the
Yeah.
hard mode, there's the big, yeah, yeah. It was kind of like that. But yeah, it was interesting because as well as kind of combat and jump scares and stuff, there was a lot of kind of puzzles, and you had to use your brain as well as your brawn in that game. I felt anyway.
Especially pre-internet.
Oh yeah,
Like I didn't
yeah.
have good internet at that point. I had to either buy a walkthrough or know somebody.
I bought a walkthrough, a big walkthrough guide for the first 3 games in my local kind of fucking convenience store, and by Christ, you would need that thing became my fucking Bible. But out of all the games you've played, which is your favorite?
I mean, 4 was the one that sticks in my memory the most, just because I hated Ashley and I really wanted to shoot her, but I couldn't. But like, I really liked, what was it? The one with the leeches. Not a lot of people like that one, but the one with the leeches was kind of cool. I don't remember which one it was.
Was that the one in Africa?
No, it was like the third.
Oh, okay. Trying to remember what one had leeches. Fuck.
There's leeches
The-
in a train. There was lots of leeches.
Oh, wait, no, I know the one you're talking about. That was Resident Evil 0. That's actually a
That
prequel to the
one.
first one. Yeah,
Okay, that one I actually quite liked. I used to have a Stars jacket and shit. I was super into the shit, but
that was interesting because it was like Rebecca, and she teamed up with a hunky escaped convict to
Mhm.
fight like zombie baboons. That was a fucking weird one.
It was
But,
definitely weird.
it was a solid game. I'm going to before I'm going to give individual questions about characters and stuff, but I'm going to bounce to Ethel next. Again, babe, I'm not ignoring you. I just want to get
Oh, I know.
some video game input. Ethel, what was your first experience with the Resident Evil video games?
The terrible controls and the weird perspective. Like, I tried to play the hell out of this game, and I did not make it very far because I would get frustrated because I'm like trying to run from zombies. I've got like 6 bullets. I don't have any health, and yeah, I kept dying. That would be my
The tank controls. But you played Code Veronica. Did you enjoy Code Veronica, at least a bit of it that you played?
yeah. The little of it that I played so far was like I had a friend give me their copy, but they only had one of the discs,
Oh shit.
so I didn't get very far.
Hey, Scottish Geek guy. Yeah, the PS1, the first 3 were brilliant. Ethel, did you find that it put you off playing survival horror, or did you, like as Wabi said, it made you gravitate towards maybe Silent Hill and the like?
Well, I've never been much for the survival thing because I don't like it when I can't defend myself in a game. Like, it's fine if like the odd thing and like, yeah, you got to die a million times to do it. Like, I get frustrated. It's like, well, how the hell am I supposed to do that? I can't run fast. I can't do anything. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I usually get to that, and like, you get to a point where there's a puzzle, and I can't solve it. I don't know. And then I'm like, well, I tried, I guess.
The puzzles were fucked. The water puzzle in Part 3. Oh Christ, that was the bane of my existence. Had you? I asked Bobs. Had you a favorite character?
I liked Jill, and yeah, I usually play, even it is easy mode.
And like they kind of changed her up for the newer games and made her less feminist. Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a bad idea. If you're gonna make her less feminine, then just have two different guys and just have one be kind of like a beta male with like the horn and glasses and the soy face. Make that your easy mode. Oh no, he's still
So-
Starbucks. So, game over.
He's got soy milk. Get down. So yeah, I think the games are. It's very hard to go back and play the older ones, particularly the first one, because as Wobbs and Ethel were saying, the tank controls. Jesus Christ, you'd need the patience of a saint to control them. But that said, it was pretty good. The second one is my favorite because you have so many options with that game. But before I carry on about Resi 2, Jen and myself watched the first live action movie, and I was kind of like, oh Jesus, I think Jen's gonna fucking hate this because Jen loves her horror and she don't like this is my lady does not like subpar horror. And I was like, oh Christ. But you watched it and you enjoyed it. Jen, what did you think of the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movie?
Well, I was surprised because I've heard a lot of people say, like you said, I don't know video games. That's not my thing. But I've heard a lot of video game people say, oh, these movies are absolutely dog shit. So maybe it was good that I went in with kind of low expectations because I was expecting a little bit worse. And I've heard people say the only reason they watch it is because of Djokovic's, because she's easy on the eyes basically, and she's in that dress. But I didn't mind it. I wasn't blown away by it, but I thought, oh, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I could definitely, even if you hadn't have told me that if I hadn't been aware that this was a video game movie, I would have kind of picked it up because like you do feel like there's parts that really do feel like it's a video game, even though you said it's very different from the video game.
Yeah, they made up a whole new cast of characters and stuff, but they still have the mansion, they still have the laboratory below the mansion. Unfortunately, this movie had a knock-on effect. It's kind of like Marvel, where the comics now are copying the movies. The creators of the Resident Evil games started copying the movies, and as a result, we got some pretty fucking subpar, shitty fucking movies. Oh Christ. But yeah. Wobbs, have you seen the Resident Evil movies, and have you a favorite, or do you think they're all shit, or do you think they're worth to watch?
I really liked the first one, and I got a question for you guys that goes along with that. Okay, so when you watched it, of course, you knew the moments in the movie that were straight up just homages, like the scenes that were from the game that they redid in the movie, where as a fan, you were like, ooh, they did the thing. Yeah. I'm wondering how many times did they do that Jen was like, oh, that's a good scene. And then it was probably a good scene because they stole it from the game.
I had some moments where I thought, okay, this has to be from the game. Like I didn't know because I've never played. Christians talked about it a little bit, and I know, and Marty has too, and I've heard other people, but I couldn't tell you the plot of the game until I saw the movie. And I'm like, there was a few scenes, and I'm like, this has to be from the game, and they were very cool. And I also like that the movie subverted my expectations. There's the scene where the one guy, you think he's going to kill himself. He's surrounded by the zombies and everything, and he tells them, you got to earn your meal. And I liked that scene a lot. That was, I don't know if that was part of the game, but I thought that was really cool.
The little British girl thing was in the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I do love you're all going to die down here. Like, that's just so iconic and great. And I will always be a fan of death by fucking lasers. Don't care how cheesy or good it is. Like, fucking slice somebody up with some lasers. Yes, please.
That was cool. And I figured that was from the game. I thought, okay, this must be a really iconic part.
Yeah, because I think some of my favorite parts from that movie is when it's like, oh, they're doing the thing from the game.
Okay, so here's a switcheroo, and you're both going to be surprised. The thing with the lasers. Okay, so that movie came out, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to double check, before Resident Evil 4. and the laser sequence they actually put into the game. So the lasers.
That's what my chat was just saying something about. There's a laser hallway in Resident Evil 4, so that's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm now maybe someone, if you're still in your chat or whatever, like, can confirm, but I think it was actually something they took from the movie and put into the games, and that became a really bad fucking habit because again, when you're trying to copy the thing that you're basing your stuff off, that's not a good fucking thing. But as the movies went on, though, they got so fucking
Insane.
bad and so cheesy.
They just
Yeah, she ended up
turned
getting
into
superpowers.
fucking she turned into like zombie Jesus. I don't fucking know. It got like, as much as I was along for the ride, by the time it got to like the third one, I was just like, okay, so we're gonna be like the Fast and the Furious now and just fuck any sort of logic. We're just going ham. Okay, sure.
Even I know
also-
it's gotten very convoluted. Well, even I know that.
Okay. Also, big shout out to 2 Day Rentals. If you haven't checked out his channel, check him out. He reviews retro figures, and he's actually a fucking super sound dude. Make sure you check out his channel. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
That's
well,
also
yeah,
a
no,
cool
it's-
name. That's a name that the kids won't fucking understand for sure.
It is a
What's
cool
a
name.
rental?
Right?
What's rent? Rent? Isn't that a musical? Fucking Ethel, did you watch any of the movies, and what's your thoughts on the cinematic universe and masterpiece that is the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies?
Well, I've seen a little bit of them, but I haven't watched them all the way through, which that's just laziness on my account because a couple of them on DVD, because I remember I used to rummage through the 97-cent bin at the local video store, and they were always there. So I think I started buying them, but I never got around to watching them, which is kind of ironic.
That
But
says it all. They were always in the 97 cent bin.
you know, it's that it was that and
gems
copies
in
of
there.
like Saw 3.
Lots of Saw 3, so many.
But yeah, it's sad that kind of like as Jen pointed out, they kind of really did some interesting stuff in the movies thanks to the games, but it seemed the movies infected the games with their fucking cheesiness. As I said before, Resi 6, or as my friend calls it, my friend Shan says, girl giving upright giraffe a blowjob. Because whoever, swear to God, Wobbs, look at the 6. Look at the way the 6 is designed in that video game.
Oh, that's
Once you
okay.
see it, you can't unsee it. It looks like a girl sucking off a fucking giraffe.
I want to
But-
see it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's fucking. There's whoever done fucking graphic design for that game should go back to fucking college. Yeah, like you had. It felt more like Michael Bay than George A. Romero. You had Leon Kennedy trying to land Air Force One while there was like fucking zombies attached to it, trying to fucking maneuver the plane through Tokyo. You had cave troll fucking zombies attacking Yugoslavia. You had fucking you had to take on zombie triads as Albert Wesker's son. It was just fucking, oh God Almighty. The game just had become a parody of itself. The first bad sign was in Resi 5 when Chris was trying to save another character and he had to punch a boulder into a volcano in order to cross. I was like, Christ almighty. We ended up with Resident Evil 7, which was really good. First person. They went to first person mode, and that's basically, that was kind of Texas Chainsaw. You end up trapped in the house of a family called the Bakers. There is like a mother, a father, a son and your girlfriend has been kidnapped and indoctrinated into the family, who are all like keep on reanimating due to mold. If you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw, like definitely fucking check that. Actually, I'll try and like Jen will spot it right away. Baker family Resident Evil. Wobbs, have you played that one?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I played it. I must have just seen parts of it.
It's just it's obvious that the game is heavily influenced off by Texas Chainsaw. So I need to find I'll try and open this. Open image in new tab. Play there. There we go. Now, Jen, look at this image and tell me that it is not
Spot the
based off
difference.
Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, hang on. Share screen. There you go. Now that is Texas Chainsaw up the fucking wazoo right there, I think.
Let me see. Oh yeah. They're not even hiding it, are they?
Right?
Yeah, that's almost plagiarism. Like yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah, I did. They went in a new direction and they took more elements from other horror stuff. So, like, for example, that one is Texas Chainsaw, while the follow-up Resident Evil 8 Village is definitely more fucking Dracula and gothic horror.
That's what I was
particularly
gonna say
thanks-
too. Definitely Dracula vibes, like for
Yeah.
sure.
I try and find Lady D.
God, she's
I
so hot.
my next, I was going to ask Wabi, why do you think so many people started thirsting over Lady D?
I mean, the internet will pretty much want to fuck any monster that's been proven, but I don't know. Thanks to VR chat, I now know giant ladies are hot. It was a thing I didn't know I was attracted to until I was put in the perspective, but now I'm just like, yeah, big vampire mommy? Yes, please.
It makes
Big-
sense. Like I can see why there would be an attraction for everybody. Like I can for the people who kind of want that dominating kind of vibe, that definitely would turn some people's cranks.
Like again, yeah, like if you've got a giantess fetish, if you've got like whatever.
I'm not even into
it's-
ladies being mean to me, but I'll let her be mean to me.
I get what you mean. And then she's got the dress. She looks
It's-
very elegant too.
Dude, the voice actress.
I'm gonna try
mwah.
and
It's the
I'm gonna try-
pasty thigh.
I'll try and find a picture of her, and you can discuss if she's all that, or if she's like fucking overhyped.
I think it's all about the hat. We need Trench here to evaluate the hat.
Trench
It is a
does
good
have his
hat.
hats.
It is a good hat.
Open image, a new tab. Blast.
If her little
Sorry about
lackeys
this.
weren't like made of bugs or whatever, they're kind of hot too. But I know there's bugs in there, so I don't want to kiss it.
Yeah, they're reanimated corpses using flies.
Yeah,
remote
that's
them back.
icky.
Maggots, yeah.
Yeah.
Even I can't get behind that one.
Yeah. I'm not into somebody putting their chewed gum into my mouth when we're kissing. If I get a maggot in there,
Yeah. Although I suppose there'd be some people, the squirmy might be good for some. I can see some
Yeah.
people like the squirminess.
for sure.
What?
Like some
Jen?
people
Well, I
might
mean,
be turned on by it.
aside from the grossness of the gum and the maggot, like at least the maggot's got like protein or something.
It's got health benefits.
Yeah.
Hey, 8 out of 10 slummy countries can't be wrong, right? Eat them maggots.
But yeah, there was Dimitrescu is essentially a gender swap Dracula with 3 daughters instead of 3 brides. And
Canonically,
it's
how tall
interesting.
is she?
Oh fuck! Hold on, I will find out. Give me 1
I
second.
would guess like 8 feet because dude's probably like 6
I-
foot.
Wobbs, I think she's bigger. Someone told
Really?
me she's bigger than Nemesis.
Really?
We need one of those, we need one of those size silhouette charts like you get in natural history museums, where you got like the bronze and you got like the little dude in the corner of the
Wobbs,
Oh, I suppose. Yeah.
Wobbs 9.6.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All
You'd
right.
literally be like belly button high to her at most.
I'm really short, so don't think I'd even come up that close. Which, if I was a lesbian, that would probably be
Perfect. Yeah.
I think I got one here that might be. Let's see. Open image in new tab. We shall see. There we go. Hang on. I'm gonna show what is what, so people can know what the monsters are. So there we go. So yeah, she's bigger than Nemesis.
Oh.
Hell, she's even bigger than a fucking tyrant. Who the fuck is this dude? Who's the dude in the underpants? I have no idea who that fucking dude is. He's packing a bulge.
I was gonna say like his
Regardless.
little speedo.
Yeah.
And
That
Who the
looks
fuck
like they added it on afterwards. Like there's definitely something else going on underneath there, and then some country was like, no. So then they give him a little speedo.
Oh, they're no fun.
he needs speedos.
Should have been leopard
If-
print speedos.
Mm.
Take classy, Jen. Classy. If you could dress up as a Resident Evil character, who would you want to dress up as?
Lady
For
Gaga,
Halloween.
sure.
I love that red dress. I do. Like I don't know if I could pull it off as good as Djokovic did, but that red dress is really
With the
I love
side
that
slit
dress.
and then like the
Yes.
collar. Mm.
It's very feminine, but it also has this it's both innocent and sexy at the same time. It's an interesting combination to me. There's like this sexiness to it, but there's also kind of this elegant and innocence to it as well. So
Very
yeah,
femme fatale.
that's a great word that's a great phrase. Yes.
Do you think Ada was a big influence on that, actually?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd say so. What
Um,
about you, Wobbs? Who would you want to dress up as?
Oh, Lady D for sure. As soon as she came out, I was like, I'm tall. If I got some like platform boots and I put the skirt, made it real long, I could make it work.
Oh, I bet you could.
Did you see the Fly Swatter mod?
Yeah, where they run around and spank her.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some lads modded the game so you have a Fly Swatter and you just hit her in the arse.
There's mods where she can run around in all sorts of sexy lingerie too.
I'm not going to even say that I looked at it because Jen will kill me. Ethel, if you could dress up as a Resident Evil character, who would you want to dress up as?
Oh, is she still on the phone?
Oh.
Yeah, she put that in sidebar.
What
No bother.
about you, Marty? I mean, if you could dress up as somebody, even if you were a chick, who would you want to dress up as?
Oh, Ada One,
Hell
the
yeah.
newest version.
We could get you some of those rubber titties off the internet.
Yeah,
You guys
wow.
could do gender swapped outfits.
no,
Yeah.
What if I,
Oh
what
yeah,
if I fucking opened up? Damn it, Jen. This is
that would be awesome, Marty. Why
No.
not?
no.
We could
No.
it could go
Yeah.
back to like our 9.5 week stream. You know what I mean? Like where they
No. It would look worse than your sexy Ed Gein costume with the 2 balloons.
I liked my Ed Gein costume, damn it.
Did you see that, Wob? She dressed up as a sexy Ed Gein and put 2 balloons down her top. It was hilarious.
I did not, but I like the idea of it.
It's fun. Someone told me that they would have never occurred to him to make Ed Gein sexy, but they said I pulled it off, so it was a nice compliment.
There is
You did.
an Instagram account that I follow that it's just this lady that dances on a pole in costumes that you shouldn't be stripping in and to songs that you shouldn't be stripping to. So she's got like the 6-inch stripper heels, and then she dresses up like Shrek and Ghostface and Mike Myers and all sorts of shit. It's so great.
Does she dance to
I
Baby
seen-
Shark?
I
I think
seen
she
her
has
dressed
done that one.
up as she dressed up as a T-Rex.
Yes.
You would know
She
that.
dressed up as a T-Rex. And she dressed up as a T-Rex and pole danced to the John Williams Jurassic Park theme. It was a
Mhm.
fucking sight to behold, let me tell you
She
that.
also made up her own character of the Shrek costume with a blonde wig and like a belly thing and called it Shrekira. And she dances to Shrekira music.
That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
God,
I need to
Damn, that's-
find this.
Has there been any fictional characters in video games that you've ever wanted to dress up as yourself?
Again, I'm not super familiar. I know I've seen people who have like I could tell you horror characters that I've definitely wanted to dress up as, but
Go
as far as
first. Go on. Go on.
horror characters that like you could do a lot with Pinhead. I've seen a lot of gender bent Pinheads. That'd be kind of cool to do and stuff.
I'd love to
but
see is that.
oh, thank you. But I like the whole cosplay, and I like to dress up. Like that's a thing. Well, you know that
It's
better than anyone,
fun.
Marty. Yes, it is, and it can kind of let your inhibitions. And the one thing I hate about people is like people who don't want to do it. They shouldn't do it because they might dress up and look like the character, but they don't add. Like you have to add the personality as well.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people that are like they'll just dress and they look good, but they don't add the fun and sparkle of it.
Right, there's no personality to it.
Exactly, and you need the personality. In fact, I even if you don't look as close to the character as you could, like I've seen some people who can still rock it because they just carry it so well. Like the personality really adds to it just as much as the look.
That's how I felt when I went and saw a live, like there was a bar that was playing Rocky Horror on all the TVs in the bar, but then they had the local theater group come in and be all the characters from Rocky Horror and go around the bar and interact with people. And like their
Oh.
costumes weren't amazing, but they fucking were giving the characters their all, and it was such an amazing fucking experience.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun. They sell it, you sell it.
Yeah.
Anyone from Rocky Horror would be fun to dress up as. Anyone.
If I
So-
ever do
so-
it again, I want to dress up because I didn't have the balls when I went, but it was real fun getting to do all like because they gave you a little bag when you came in with like a piece of toast and gloves and all the little things to interact with the movie like they did back in the day. And I'm like, oh, this is so great.
Oh, I'm so surprised you didn't dress up though. Like that would have been so cool. You're so brave. Like I would imagine you totally would have rocked it.
Yeah, do people still go to the cinema and stuff dressed as the characters and throw rice at the
Yeah.
screen and stuff?
Apparently, like there's still people keeping that as an event going around Halloween, like all around America, as far as I know of. Like there's some people who are just like, I'm just glad because for a while it went away, and then there were all these people, I think like they said in like the late 90s that were like, we've heard all these stories about the people going to the theater and like doing this, and like why doesn't anybody, and they're like, you know what, fuck it. We're bringing it back, and it's like, fuck yeah.
Exactly. I think it's fun to go to the theater and dress up I just like to dress up. I think it's fun. The theater kid in me loves it.
See, I'm not even
it-
a theater kid, but I totally get it.
I'm trying to think. One year, myself, Zuza, Anton Shar went to see. Oh, it was Ouija. We went to see Ouija in costume, and we were the only ones on the screen dressed up. And I had some woman come over to me. She goes, "I just want to thank you. My autistic teenage son, he wanted to see a horror movie, and he found the movie boring." But E4 scared the shit out of him, so you made his nice. I'm like, Okay.
That is the weirdest compliment.
I went. I think it was either the Shadow or the Phantom of the Opera. I always forget which year that was. When Zusa dressed up as a cat, Anthony dressed up as a comic book character. We came up with vampire, and I'm trying to remember what Char dressed up as. I think she was a witch. I'm not sure. Trying to think. It's either a witch or an evil fairy. I can't remember, but it was good. It was fun going to cinema, but more people were paying attention to us than Ouija. But in fairness, Ouija was shit. Myself and Zuza were joking about a scene where a girl went to an overpass and like what were she's going to get jumped by ghost hobos. Gobos. Where are the gobos? Where the fucking gobos at?
That's one thing I'm super excited. Like when we're together, like, actually in the same room, I want to do so many costumes, like themed costumes together. I think that'd be so much fun.
That's called our wedding night, babe.
Ooh.
Oh, do you remember Jeepers Creepers?
Yes, the latest one. Yes.
Yeah, and you're one trying out all the costumes, and I was just like, God damn! I'm fairly sure Warner Brothers didn't okay that Harley Quinn costume, not for this movie anyway.
I don't know if I've seen the new one.
Don't worry. You're better off if you have it. It's bad. And I know people say it's bad.
There we go.
That's kind of like the newest Texas. I think it was Texas Chainsaw.
The stream.
The newest Texas Chainsaw.
It's the one where they buy the town. Is that the one? Right one? Yeah.
It's not as bad as some people say, but it's not good. Like the thing is, if you go in and just look at
Jen.
I know. No, we had this discussion. I remember when I was like, the thing was, and you said, "Don't worry about it." When I go, how did they do that, Marty? Don't worry. But no, like what I mean by
that movie broke me. Do you remember when he started up the chainsaw? And I told you about what would have happened, the gas in the chainsaw?
Evaporated. If you go in with it just as a slasher movie, it's fine, like just a generic slasher movie. The problem is the Texas Chainsaw part is the part they get so wrong.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
But it's better than Jeepers Creepers, don't you think so, Marty?
Well, yeah.
Not that that's a high bar.
There's scenes in Jeepers Creepers, right? Myself and Christian were laughing our ass off because obviously they couldn't get location, so they used green screen for a graveyard, and it looked like something out of a fucking 90s FMV point and click adventure, like Gabriel Knight, or one of those movies where like the characters are supposed to be in a location. It seriously.
How hard can it be to find some graveyard that'll let you film in it? Like there's so many graveyards.
Christian and Marty asked that very question when we were watching it for the first time.
It looked like a bad FMV game. Jesus Christ. Ethel, are you back to us? She's still kind of she's probably having issues with her connection. But no, is there any movies you're going to watch? Actually, Wobbs, is there any movies you watch religiously for Halloween? Is there a movie that you have to watch?
Idle Hands is one of them. Watch that every fucking Halloween.
That's a great one.
Trick or Treat's a good one that I like to watch every Halloween. Now, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas. Gotta fucking watch that one.
Yeah, those are good ones. those are really good ones.
Jen, knowing Wobb's taste, would you recommend any movies that she should add to her Halloween watch list
Yes, one that it's another anthology movie, and it's like one that I think should be just as beloved as Trick or Treat. Tales of Halloween. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that one
Mm.
is fun. Now, I will admit there is a couple of duds, but like the ones that are great are amazing. There's this really cool one that's a claymation one, and we
Hmm.
have Jason and Evil Dead. It has all kinds of homages, and it's just super fun. The whole and it really has a feel of October. If you want, like, something that'll give you October vibes,
Fuck
watch
yeah.
Tales of Halloween. That is a great one. And, let's see what else I could d there's a lot of movies. I always watch Halloween 4. I know I'm a basic bitch, but that's, like, my favorite movie to watch for the October season is Halloween 4.
What are you planning on dressing up as this year, my dear?
Oh, I'm gonna be the little girl, even though I have mixed issues with the movie because I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as most people in the community, but I loved the little girl. I'm gonna dress up as the little clown girl from Terrifier 2.
Ah,
Yes,
Terrifier, man.
I love that clown, and I
You're
like,
not
I
going to
had
poo on the floor, are you?
Maybe.
maybe! Marty, can we do like, I wish we were here because we would totally do the, like, hand clapping thing, and we'd get
The patty
Christian.
cake.
Yes,
I'm
and, like,
just
Christian would
imagining
be
you guys
asleep.
at a party and being like, sorry, my girlfriend shat on the floor. She's method acting right now. She's very in character.
Yeah. I
Sorry,
could do
ma'am. I just send me a bill for the rug.
Bill.
Just it's Persian, is it? Persian carpet. Oh,
Hmm.
oh.
Marty, why are you mad? We wanted to get the scene just right.
You weren't filming it, Marty. God damn it.
I gotta
I
do
gotta
it
do it
again.
again. This coffee table will do.
Marty, give
No
me a
time.
burger.
Leave the nachos where they are. Oh, shit.
And I might dress up as a few other things because, like I said, I like to. I'm actually, I don't even think you know this, Marty. I'm gonna try because I've got a bunch of clothes from last year and this year. Sheen always sells like Halloween themed stuff, and I've picked up some stuff. So I'm gonna try to do 31 days of spooky outfits, not necessarily costumes, but cute, like little, Halloween get-ups and stuff. That's what I'm kind of thinking of doing. So.
Cool. Cool.
But I'm probably
Is
gonna dress up a few
is
things
there
for
any
you.
actually? Ooh. Um. Is there any? Okay, so you two are kind of like you're not fuck. The thing I love about you, Jen, is you are you, and Wobbs, you actually are a fucking genuine, fantastic, free thinking individual. Is there
Yes.
any costumes you see girls wearing out on Halloween and go, what in the basic bitch fucking made her think that was something to wear for Halloween? Has there
Okay,
ever been a costume you're like, what
No,
the
you know
fuck?
why I can never judge anyone on that ever?
What? Go on.
Me and one of my exes, we both had a very dark sense of humor. And we go, what could be the most fucked up couples costume we could think of? So we were like, oh, a pedo and a baby. But then he was like, nah, that's too much if I dress up like the pedo, he says. So I'm like, okay, then you be the baby and I'll be the pedo. So I had the mustache and like the fucking serial killer glasses and shit. And then he just had a stupid, like basic dumb baby costume like you can get off Amazon. But then there were people that didn't get our costume until we were like kissing at the bar, and then people would be like, hey, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. And I'm like,
I think you just made Jen's night with that story.
Wobbs, please tell me one of you had a white van and you had free candy in the window.
no, sadly I did not. But
Yeah. Well, maybe next time.
That's still a great costume,
Oh,
though.
yeah, it
That's
is.
that like no, but I mean like as a woman, like you see fucking girls out for Halloween, and they're just wearing it because I know. Look, there's nothing wrong with wearing a sexy costume, but it's just like really, really that's That's
I've
what
seen a
you're
lot
gonna
of girls
wear.
phone it in and just take their eyeliner and draw some whiskers on their face and been like, I'm
Yeah.
a sexy cat. And it's like, I guess you tried.
But if you're gonna do a sexy cat, like really go all in on it. Maybe even get on all fours and do like the paws. Like I would, if you're gonna do it, go
You
all
were a
in.
sexy cat. You were a genuinely sexy cat because you had ears and whiskers and the whole fucking shebang. I remember.
Yeah, I get, but and I think like Halloween is like the one time like where women can like go into that sexy thing and not get too. I think there's some guys that are always going to slut shame you, but I think it's like the
Yeah.
one night where it's okay to. And like believe it or not, I'm actually really shy, so like I'm still trying to get like some outfits I'll really admire on someone else, but I'll think, oh, I could never pull that off. So
Like I might wear that in my house, but I'm not
Yes.
brave enough to wear it outside of my house. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, that's exact. Or I might wear it in front of Marty, but nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have like a costume that we go like to a party in, and then when we get home, I might change into a costume just for him.
I think one of my
Nice.
favorites is when girls take something that
Hi.
like I've seen somebody take Gandalf and just be normal Gandalf on top and then have really sexy legs and have his robe like cut up as a slit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, take something not sexy and make it sexy. I'm definitely down for that.
Mm-hmm. Marty, have you ever done? Do guys get to do sexy costumes as much as women?
I certainly haven't. I don't fucking think.
Oh, you could do that Sean Connery outfit from that one movie where he
Oh,
wears
yeah.
the little red and the ponytail.
Well,
Yeah.
Zardoz.
Yeah,
Zard-
Zardoz. Yeah.
Zardoz, Christ.
There's a sexy man costume.
I don't have the physique of late 70s, early 80s Sean Connery.
Darling, you have a wonderful physique. I would enjoy looking at it.
Look, if someone said we need a stunt double for Jack Black or fucking early 2000s Seth Rogen, I'm fucking there. But no, like I'm not fucking Wayne Knight hefty. If that was the case, I'd go as Dennis Nedry for Halloween from Jurassic Park. But no, I don't know. I don't know who could I do. I can get away with the Punisher because of the trench coat. I've done that a couple of times. But I know, Jen, I'm not going to flash you in a trench coat.
Damn it. I think you would if I got a couple alcohols. What?
I want. Oh, go on, Jen.
Oh no, I was just being like, what? I didn't want you to know my plan. I will probably. I don't know if I should say no. Fuck it. I'll ask this question tonight because I know I've wanted to ask this and I love hearing your reaction. I want to get Rob's reaction. I might have already asked this. So going to school when the craft came out, all the preppy bitches, Jen, all the preppy bitches. Tell me the story again. Oh God. So like I was this is going to shock everybody, but I was kind of different in school and stuff. And like my mother is a practicing Wicca. So like Wiccan, and I've like, grown up with all the stuff and she's taught me some stuff. And I wore like buckled shoes just because I liked them. And like everyone thought I was weird and stuff. And then like all these little preppy bitches would make fun of me. And everyone thinks, oh, Jen would love The Craft. That must be one of her favorite movies. She's kind of got that witchy vibe, and I never did. And like these stupid preppy bitches when I was at the school said, oh, we're they saw the movie once and then they thought they were witches, that they were running around doing things. We're witches, and I just looked at them with so much hate and just vitriol. And it was one of those things like everyone assumes that Jen would love The Craft, and I don't hate The Craft, but I don't love it just because I have that connotation with them, because these were just Barbie girls, and there's nothing wrong with being a Barbie girl. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But when a Barbie girl is being a bitch to a witch, and then they go and for making trying to be the same thing you were doing, they had no idea what they were doing. We're witches now. I remember one of them said, "We're spooky like you."
Oh God.
Well, I just kind of looked at them and didn't say anything. And sometimes I think that's the best thing is when you don't say anything. That's the worst.
That's kind of how I felt when anime started to get popular. Like once everybody knew about anime and I was like, oh, so it's cool now? Like we're not gonna okay, cool. Like it took me a couple years. And basically my kid was like, Mom, you need to stop being a hipster about that shit. Like you're not accomplishing anything. If anything, you're keeping people from loving the same things you love. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It was just like, God damn it.
No, you keep that hatred. Because there's nothing worse than something you've loved that becomes flavor of the month. And people are like, yeah, I'm into it too. Fuck you, you fucking donkey.
Were you there from the beginning, though?
Yeah, and like one of the tenets that I was taught is like kindness. Like my mother is pretty liberal, and she would let me get away with a lot of stuff. But one thing that if she ever knew that I did like would ever be unkind to anybody, if she ever found out I was unkind to anybody, she would beat my ass. She would let me get away with murder. But that was one thing that didn't fly and stuff. And all these bitches were so cruel to everybody else, and that just really bothered me because I do believe what you put out, you get back.
Oh yeah.
And all that. And so like that was my thing with these bitches. They were just the cruelest bitches. So I'm not a great person in a lot of ways, but I don't ever try to be unkind to people, especially people that might, can't help it. They always seem to go after the ones that couldn't fight back. I've always noticed that.
See, I was always the one to fucking stick up for the weird kids. Cause like I dealt with some popular girls in my life that I was like, oh, I think you're a sociopath now that I know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, I had one girl walk up to me one morning, like, right in the very beginning of school. Most popular girl in my class, big smile on her face. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is she coming by me? Like, what the fuck does she want? She came up to happily announce to me that somebody that I knew had off themselves. I can still clear as day remember the smile on her face as she was walking towards me. And I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Did
what?
you give her a belt? Did you fucking hit her?
Oh no, I was way too in shock at that point. I literally walked out of the building and just left and went to my nearest friend's house.
Wow.
Sorry
I'm so sorry that happened.
What a cunt. Sorry, I know it's not a nice word to use, but
oh no, it's apt for that. Yeah.
See, with me, it was interesting. Like I was never popular or anything, and they would make fun. But like there was this one guy, he was a really big guy and stuff, and he would always go, and I never did anything to him. Like I wore black and stuff, but I never was shouted out my beliefs or what I thought. I guess you could just tell from me that I was
just
different.
Assumed, yeah,
and stuff like that. But one guy would go, no, don't mess with her. She's a legitimate witch. So like people did like I knew I was considered weird, but I didn't get like Carrie picked on either. I was in a weird place, but I was always, but I did, it does come back because a couple of people from high school remember me and they go, you were never a bitch like a lot of them were.
Right?
Yeah. So that's nice. I had a guy once tell me that he's like, you were one of the few nice ones. So, yeah.
It's nice how you at least have set an example. So they didn't think that, all females were just awful. So it's nice that they know that, some of us exist.
Marty, that's how you got those Batman cards, because he was having that garage sale, his family was, and he remembered me, and nice. Christian was with him, and he goes, your mom was one of the few people that was generally kind to me for when we were growing up.
I like that because that's that's a double-edged sword. It was really nice to get the cards, but back in school, you'd be probably smoking out the front that he arrives with a duffel bag with 6 or 7 carbine. Go home, Jen. You were always good to me. What the fuck? I shouldn't joke.
It comes in handy, I suppose. I never did it for that reason, but I guess that's a benefit.
See, I never did it for that reason, but then at one point, I think it was Dane Cook made a joke about how you need to fucking like give a candy bar to the weird guy at work, so that way when he comes in to shoot up the place, he's like, "Hey man, I remember you." And he
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You were good to me. You may leave. Can I go? Not you, Conway. Not you. I'm gonna fucking bury you in that photocopier you made me wait for. What the fuck? Fucking. I had a couple of weeks ago. I had my 20-year reunion, and like a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I'm not sure about going. I don't get on with people and stuff." And he went, and it was surprising because myself and himself were like, I don't know if people have changed that much, but a lot of people had. I think a lot of people kind of grow up and realize that. I like to think anyway. Oh, Ethel, you're back.
After 20 years, I would hope
is
that
she
they've
back?
fucking
That I am.
Changed.
Sorry about that.
Ethel.
I had no, it's all good. I had a phone call and it. Oh, sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Have you any weird stories from high school or social things that like kind of made you think, Christ, people were dicks back then, or people were okay, or was there anyone you got on with, or was there any group you didn't get on with?
I sort of like moved between the groups. Like everybody sort of had little clicky things, and I sort of just was like, I was one of them people. Everybody knew me, and like, I mean, it wasn't popular or anything, but everyone knew I was, and like, I didn't have a lot of click things going on. I usually just kept to myself. I'm one of them kids that go home after school and I watch TV or play video games, make some snacks. It's very, very exciting.
There was never, I didn't have any run-ins with any preppy fuckers or dickheads or have to deal with shit or.
Oh yeah, like I ran into people and like, there was one kid in school and like he was a real dick and he said something stupid to me and I don't know, I said something snarky back. And like, I must have thought he was a video game character because he came running down the hall and he tried to jump kick me. But jump kick real life are a lot different than a jump kick in a movie. Like a jump kick in real life, kind of have to like, you can't really run do it because as soon as you jump.
How did you deal with him for a finish?
Well, I kept going. Like,
I think your connection's broken up a wee bit, Ethel. Sugar. Ethel,
I
you
was
there?
enjoying that jump kick story.
I was too.
Oh.
She'd come back. She'd come back.
Yeah.
It'd be funny though if she's actually gone off to test out how an actual jump kick works. Just, hey, Dad, stand over there.
I can't say I've ever tried, that's for sure. I was thinking about it for a minute there.
Trying to think. I usually in fights, if I've ever succeeded in a fight, it's usually because I'm either really fucking just dumb and don't think it's like, yay, I beat him. But in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done that. Like fucking jumping on top of a lad and the two of us going through a table or headbutting a guy into a locker and then his head ricochets off the back of the locker and I think he's trying to headbutt me. So I headbutt him again. And it's just like one of those kind of metronome things. It's like I learned in school I have an incredibly thick head. That was something. Ethel, your jump kick story. How did it end? You have to know.
Wait, am I going? It's still on backstage. Oh, there I am.
No,
there I
you're
am.
on.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, no, he came running at me down the hallway, and I just look over my shoulder. I see this running at me, and I'm like, oh, he's going to, like, jump on me and they're fighting. And he jumps up in the air and tries to do the jump kick. So, like, his foot barely touches my back and then just falls straight on the floor. And it looked like he hit his butt or something because he kind of like his hip and hit. And I'm like, I couldn't help it. Started laughing and I just sort of kept walking away. I'm like, I hope he doesn't get up because I want to get in a fight. I'm going to go to mass. And that's sort of how it ended. Everybody else started laughing at him. And yeah. I don't know, it was funny.
So he thought he could Bruce Lee you and ended up fucking himself up. What a knob.
Yeah, he was a Ninja Turtle or something, and it didn't happen.
Jen, have you ever thrown hands with anyone in school?
No, I never did. Like I said, there were people, for some reason, people like, and I've never done anything. People like find me a little scary, and I don't know why. I never did anything and stuff, but I think everyone thought I was weird, Marty.
Did you try coming onto them? Because that's fucking terrifying.
No. No. One guy was like I was a cross between a witch and a Veronica from Heathers, is how they described me. That's what they said.
Except you kept talking about puppet pornos. That's what it was. Is they didn't want you to show them the puppet pornos.
Well, I always was talking about stuff that was probably inappropriate for my age.
Have you any recollection of any topic you brought up that just made people stop in their tracks?
When I would go to Take Two Video, that was like our local video store. There was a guy, he like seemed like an adult. He was like probably late teens, early 20s and stuff. And I would rent stuff, and it was really unnerving for him, for like this little kid. But it was kind of cool because he showed me movies that I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. But he found it very unnerving that I was like this little kid who wanted to rent Faces of Death over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound like Recipe for a Serial Killer, to be honest.
But I like these. And he's like, shouldn't you be in the kids section? And I'm like, no.
Dude, I always had that happen at the library when I was a kid, because, like, I started reading pretty young, so it didn't take long before I was like, okay, kids' books are boring as shit. And then they're like, are you sure you should be in this section? And it's just like, come on.
Wobbs, you went full Matilda on their fucking ass. Oh, essentially, okay.
Well, basically, once I proved to him, like, I had read the entire, like, Lord of the Rings and fucking Little House on the Prairie and fucking Lion the Witch and all, like, so much shit. And then they were like, okay, we get it. You can go into that section now. And I was like, about fucking time.
When did the telekinesis kick in, Wob? When did that come in?
Later.
Fun library story, although he probably wants to kill me to this very day. Cormac Nestor. Well, fuck it, I have his name said. Anyway, I loaded up, I think we were in 6th class. I loaded up his book, his bag with The Guide to Sex, kind of rough Kama Sutra thing. Just put a bunch of fucking sexually themed books into his bag without them being checked out. He walks to the door, the buzzer goes off, the head librarian comes over and starts taking out all these fucking books. And yeah, I'm lucky he didn't fucking murder anyone or become some fucking Jeffrey Dahmer fucker, because it was fucking hilarious at the time, though.
That is hilarious from an outside perspective, but I can totally understand how fucking mortifying that would be to have happen to you. Because that librarian thinks he's a pervert forever. But then again, that's pretty normal shit for teenagers, actually, honestly, too. So, like, yeah, it's probably not the first time that's happened.
I remember as a teenagers, I had an astrology book, sexual astrology, compatibility, that kind of stuff. And my mom, she's kind of weird with people and stuff, and we'd sit on the porch and stuff and just hang out. And I read this one, and I told him about it, where this woman had a boyfriend who loved a gum, and she put the gum up, in an interesting
Oh.
place. Yeah, and stuff. And we were talking about that, and like my friends were having a fun time and laughing and stuff. But I saw all of them kind of looking, and they're like, "Wow."
Yeah, sometimes I learn, like sometimes when I'm around people that like my baby sister's friends, like sometimes I have to remember to reel it in because I
Yeah,
talk about really weird shit on the regular. Like, it's normal to me. And then I
yeah,
get around normal people, and then all of a sudden you see them just staring at you like, because that
yeah.
the gum thing makes me think of a similar story where I found out that there was a married couple where the lady puts hard-boiled eggs in her hoo-ha and then
Ooh,
lays them around the house for him to eat and pretend she's a chicken. And I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad those two found each other
yeah.
because I don't know if I would want to do that for a person. So like, good on you guys. But I also imagine being the kid and like accidentally coming home early and being like, Jesus, fun again. God damn it, you two.
Kid might need some therapy, but it is a beautiful story.
Like, good on
Easter
you
must
guys.
have really interested around that house.
Ooh, and they're colored. Yeah.
Oh, Mom had been good this year. Damn.
God damn it, Jesus. Actually, what? Because Wobbs, you and Jen
Yeah.
know some weird fucking shit. So what's the weirdest fucking Jen? I'll start with you, my dear, because you are the purveyor of weird fucking knowledge and shit. What's the weirdest fucked up story you've ever heard?
Let me think about this. I'll get back to you, darling. Let me think. I've got to go through a catalog here.
Is anybody else cooking a pickled egg now?
Oh,
I mean, I
Um,
wouldn't say no.
Jesus.
I read a story once. There's a site called Literotica, and they have this like how-to section, like where people write all kinds of advice columns and stuff. And I like to read that because you never know, you might find some good like tips and stuff. I always like to keep up. And I read this one where this guy like had a fetish about like a woman not having a certain smell, and it was actually down there, and like it turned him on, and like he wrote a thing for guys who might be into it, how to talk your girlfriend or your significant other to like do that and leave their panties on for a while. And he goes into details, and he talks about psychologically manipulating them so they think one thing but it's really another. It was really interesting. I found it because like I know most guys that up until that point I didn't even know there would be a guy that would be turned. I mean, of course, everybody has some turned on, but so it's somewhere. But like
You have
I
a
never knew
point.
of a guy
Yeah,
that would
when I
want
found out about the being into panties thing, or like when I found out people were into feet, both of those things were like, oh, and then pretty much after that, I was like, oh, now I pretty much know Rule 34 with life. It doesn't matter what it is. There's somebody out there that wants to like put their genitals on it.
Yeah, but it was the smell, and like the ranker the smell, the more the guy liked
Oh
it.
God,
And I'm like,
no.
yeah,
Whoa.
judging. It's just like I never knew that would be a thing for any guy. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to kink shame.
Oh, it's like
No, I don't
it's
either.
like the armpit. It's like the
Yeah.
armpit guys. I don't know if you're into them, but they want to smell like they want you to work out and stuff, and then they want to smell
Yeah.
your armpits. It's really gross.
Lick 'em.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
used to know a guy that used to like not bathe after he had sex because he thought that the smell of it would attract other women to him. And I was like, dude, if that is working, I don't think you want to sleep with those kind of people that are like I don't know about that, but like found it so weird. Like I never got
don't
close enough to him to
understand
smell anything.
How I got the crabs. I just,
Like if body odor was a real aphrodisiac, you'd never see a single homeless person. They'd all be busy banging in dumpsters. Come on now.
I was really wondering where you were
in
going with
fairness,
that.
Ethel, in fairness, Ethel, there is a term term for when hobos have an orgy, and it's called a soup kitchen.
Oh.
Oh, God, Marty.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's called a soup kitchen. God damn hobo orgies.
Oh, I can tell you about something that I recently found out was a thing that I didn't know was a thing that I was terrified about.
Ooh.
You know how like there's people that'll inject silicone into their arms or whatever to make it look like they have muscles?
Yeah.
There's a whole fetish community of dudes who inject it into their dick and balls to the point where you can't even like actually fuck anybody with it anymore. It just looks like like the dude literally said other people can penetrate his penis. It's so full of silicone and like they showed him in like a
my
jock
good
strap.
fucking God.
Yeah, they showed him in a jock strap and it looked like a baby diaper that was full, just hanging in the front, and it was just his balls and his dick all full of silicone. Like I didn't see actually it, but I saw it encased, and I was like, and then even with jeans on, it looked like he was trying to steal like a Cornish game hen or something. Like I don't know. And then he said that his partner had died from injecting too much too fast, and it got into his bloodstream, and he fucking died. And I was just like, there's a community of people that are doing this. And then he talked about how now that his partner was dead, he was thinking about just having it removed because he's always been a bottom anyway, and he was just kind of sick of having it. And I was just like, wow.
Good plan.
Yeah, like what a roller coaster.
How do you remove that from there? Sweet.
Just
Jemima's
make
fucking
him like a
pancakes.
Ken doll, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if but could you shape it? Like, is it moldable now? Like, because the silicone isn't hard, so could you like
No,
mold it? Oh.
He said it's just like a big thing of Play-Doh. Like it can still get hard, but the whole all of the
Jesus
outside
Christ.
is all like Play-Doh. I don't
See,
know.
I'd want to do molds and stuff like
Like
Play-Doh.
shapes.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not like a fun factory.
Exactly,
Fun
darling.
factory, Jesus
Oh, you
Christ.
could get a weird dick cage for it and make it shaped like different things. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, he could do the Ken doll thing. I read about these people, the nullified, the null. I don't know if you guys ever heard about these. Somebody whose sexual fetish is to have their entire package, meat and tuvet and all completely
Yeah,
removed, and they just have a hole
too,
for feet.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Marty, would you ever do that?
Yeah.
No, I fucking would not. Sweet fucking Jesus. God damn, Jesus Christ. Oh,
I always thought it'd be fun the chastity belt, too. That I thought that'd be kind of fun. Or am I the only one that thinks that way? Not on Marty, but on me. And Marty, you're the only one that has the key. It could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
you would. I would give you 2 days before you beg me for the key.
Go feral.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
foaming at the mouth.
But it could be fun, and it's like the power thing. You have all the power and stuff. That could be kind of a fun dynamic.
2 days, and you're like clawing my pants off.
Okay, but if you guys do that, you have to sing the song from fucking Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes, I was just thinking that. Call the locksmith.
Yes.
Jen's just there with a fucking Black & Decker fucking drill. Come on, you fucking...
Yep.
It's an everlast. But that's the thing. I know a lot of people who are into that, both guys and women. That the whole chastity belt thing. It's making a comeback.
I mean, I recently found a song that the chorus is "Put it in a dick cage." That's literally the chorus of the song. It's a pretty good song.
I'll have to check it out.
That reminds me of Lonely Island's Dick in a Box. Backstage at the CMA's Dick in a Box. Over at your mother's house, Dick in the
Dick
Box.
in a box.
It's my Dick in a Box, baby.
It's one of the best Christmas songs by far.
Yes, it is. I wouldn't mind that for a Christmas present if Marty just had a box.
Just walking around. Just, what the hell?
You don't get to open that yet. You wait.
I've waited so long though. Although if it was reversed and like Marty had to wear the chastity belt, I like think he'd be worried because he'd think I'd lose the key, which I
Oh
probably
God.
would.
Right. I would not want to have that responsibility.
There's a couple of guys I watch that they
Jen,
do
I
that,
really
and
need to piss.
and the company actually has like a thing where like they can unlock it for you if someone loses the key, which I'm like, that's probably a smart policy to have.
Yeah.
Because I'd lose the key, Marty. I would.
Combination lock could be safer.
Do you really want a combination lock hanging in your pants though?
Yeah, but in fairness, like all you'd have to do is put in 6969 and you're sorted.
Yeah.
What about if the lock? Say what?
Could you survive a chastity belt?
Can and have. It's not a big deal.
What?
Like,
What?
No, here's the thing. If you get really hard up and you can't contain yourself, I own a Dremel. I could just cut that shit right off. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, you're resourceful. You can figure it out.
I mean,
I'd be,
of course,
dragging
I'm
my
talking
ass on the concrete like a dog.
me too. Or throwing myself
Well, like,
into the tree.
I mean, belt would beat everything, but like if you have a good vibrator, you just sit on that and you'd be all set.
Maybe.
Oh, by the way, this is an adult conversation. If you have young, cover the ears. Forgot the warning.
I'm
Marty, what's the
gonna
weirdest
be
box
really
you've heard?
fucking. I'm gonna be really excited to see what all the people who are like, ooh, Resident Evil. Let's see what Martin and just fucking. But first 30 minutes Resident Evil, and the rest is this.
Well, they obviously, Marty, they did not play the game all the way. You're Resident Evil fans. If you've not gotten to the adult content of the game, it's you got a perfect playthrough, no injuries. And if you do, you get the thing about the pickled vagina eggs and the chastity belts. I mean,
Yeah.
I
It's
can't
like
believe you guys
the
don't.
corgi in space at the end of Silent Hill. You got to really try to get it, but it's there.
If you do a perfect playthrough, like boom, it just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, I didn't know this.
That's actually something must do a stream about at some stage. Fucking bad porno games for the Atari back in the day.
Yes.
Oh God.
Ethel, do you know any in particular?
Yeah, well, there's that one. I forget what it's. I think it's like Beat 'em or something like that. It's got some weird name, and like there's guys on top. Yes, that's what it was. The guys on top of the roof, and they're yeah.
Basically, as Ethel said, there's a dude on top of. Okay, Wobby, would you ever try and play this for your Twitch stream? There's a dude jacking off at the top of a high-rise building. There is a prostitute below the high-rise building, and she has to run back and forth, eating as much ejaculate as she can before it hits the ground.
I mean, I don't think Twitch would like that one, but I know somewhere I might be able to play it.
The graphics aren't that, like, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely
Dude,
better.
Twitch
than
won't even let
Custer's
you play
Revenge.
genital
Jesus
jousting,
Christ.
as far as I know. And in that game, you're just a penis. Like, there's not even anything sexual. You're just a penis. Everybody's a penis. It's just penis land.
Whee!
Yeah, there's even little dick birds. It's kind of cute.
That's going to
Aw.
be a term Jen uses now. Let's go genital jousting.
Huzzah!
I could hear it now. Like the dick birds are tweeting outside. It's such a nice day. Are you ready for genital jousting?
Whee! Disney should
the
have
hell
dick
do you
birds in their movies.
feed a dick bird? Wouldn't be bird seed. Viagra, Cialis. What do you feed a dick bird? That's what I want to know.
Little
Don't be a
dicks.
freaky looking bird.
Little dick worms. Yeah.
Oysters? I don't know.
Show them erotic material to make them grow.
you gotta leave late night Skinamax on for them every night.
Then they get bigger. Yeah.
There's a fucking instead of shredded newspaper at the bottom of the cage, you gotta put fucking hustler, shredded hustler. Just
Well, the cool thing is if they get cage, you just turn the AC on to max and it's not a problem. Like they fit there.
Dumbest or stupidest or silliest sex scene you've seen in a video game.
First thing that comes
Mr.
to mind is fucking God of War. When you had to bang the pots off the shelves. That shit was fucking funny.
Yeah, they couldn't actually show it, so it like the camera pans into Kratos going into bed, and there's like fucking there's like as Wobby said, there's plates and dishes and stuff on a shelf, and they start hopping up and down. Is there another one with a fountain? That's sure about a fountain like peeing, and every time like Kratos does something, like more water comes out. That's fucking weird. There's a terrible GTA clone called Ride to Hell. It's about bikers, and you play. It's basically trying to copy off Grand Theft Auto, the kind of spin off of the bikers. But you get to have sex with women to boost your stamina while you have your clothes on.
Mm.
It's like, what the fuck? They're dry humping.
Oh.
That's all I can fucking say. That's all it looks like.
It's like sex with a virgin. Oh, let me. Can I pull through the hole? I'm a little shy.
Jesus.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That was fun. They were fun, especially the flower woman with the massive tits. Did you ever get as far as her, Jen?
I don't think I did. I knew someone who loved that game and played it and stuff, and I played it a couple of times, but I don't know how far I got. But it was a fun game. Like the game itself was fun.
Fun kind of fucking weird, sexy kind of fights. Bayonetta. Did anyone ever play Bayonetta?
Fucking love Bayonetta. That also made me think of Blood Rain. Loved Blood Rain.
Blood Rain's
Terrible
I
film.
like how-
but game.
I like how Bayonetta borrows heavily from Devil May Cry.
Oh, it's basically Devil May Cry with a lady. Yeah.
Yeah, like once I started playing it and I realized that, I'm like, oh, this game isn't that bad at all. Although I will say, like a lot of like the taunts and stuff are pretty cringe.
Yeah.
too
I agree.
sexualized or too kind of just fucking
Cheesy.
They're
yeah.
like they're sexualized and cheesy, and like I don't mind the thing, but if you're gonna sexualize it and do it that way, don't be so cheesy that it's like, oh god, no, I accidentally hit the cringe button. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh no. You know, there's a balance to be had here.
Just pick a lane and stay in it.
You know, why couldn't one of the taunts be like, oops, they're on that one? Like, that's a lot better than, wanna touch me? It's like, no,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like even
okay,
if I
Jen,
did, I don't now. Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jen,
now-
Wobby, Jen, Wobby, Ethel, I want to show you something. Again, my friend is adamant that it looks like a woman sucking off a giraffe.
Okay.
Let me know if you agree. Okay?
Okay.
Make sure you put incognito on for that one.
Oh, I totally see it. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
She's
Well-
right.
Well,
Marty.
now we know why those deals at Toys R Us were so good.
She must have took everything in the divorce though, because there aren't any Toys R Us's anymore.
In Canada, there are, I think. Aren't there still in Canada?
Damn
I
it,
think
Jeffrey! You should have had a prenup.
But yeah, my friend Shan said, look, Resident Evil 6 is a bad game, but what saves it is the logo looks like some woman is giving fellatio to a giraffe. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I looked at the cover, I was like, fuck you, Shan. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct about that part.
Yeah. I'm thank her for me, darling, because that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a fun fact. And it took me like literally like half a second to be like, yep, it's right there.
I'd frame it. Put it up on the wall.
Ethel, what do you think? Does that logo look like someone giving a giraffe a good time?
What 100% Jack? I'd be interested to see the Deviant art page for the designer of this. I feel like there's a lot of furry content that's going to pop out. Not that I'm interested in that, but for science, we've got to research everything.
Yeah, just to know if you're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the big fucking trend now? Honest to God, like I've gone on to art pages and stuff. I'm trying to fucking find like different comics and independent comics, and there seems to be a massive trend of futa werewolf girls.
I'm
What
okay
the
with that.
fuck? Particularly one character in particular from Hell, something Hell. It's an animated show about these people, these kind of demons that run hell, and one of their daughters is
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
werewolf.
yeah. Has Been Hotel. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, this character has gained traction. It's just like, hey, this girl's sexy. Let's give her a dick when she's in wolf form. It's like, what the hell? Okay. It's
Is
just
it bad?
weird. Hello, Kara.
Hello, sorry if I'm super late.
No, you're grand. You're grand. We were just talking about like fucking weird logos that look like someone's giving fellatio to a giraffe, and Jen was talking about chastity belts, and Wob was talking
meant-
about people injecting silicone into their dicks. It's just
And balls.
and balls. Sorry.
About
Sorry.
part about don't forget about the part about werewolf she-males. I mean, that's a new one, but hey, I get it. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's whatever.
I can
Marty,
see
do you
guys
find it
getting
erotic?
implants to make their balls look bigger.
No, like they're just straight up injecting silicone into it where it looks like Play-Doh dick and ball. It's weird. It's a
Ew.
Vice video if you get curious. It was, yeah.
It's like a 1980s version of a boob job where they're just all stiff,
Yeah.
round bits of dough.
It's weird. It makes it look like it's been stung by like a bunch of bumblebees or something. Like it's all weird puppies.
Lumpy.
Jesus.
I mean, maybe that's safer than having. So I guess they've made progress.
Tara, earlier on, the girls were telling me about like different stories from high school and having to deal with fucking people because they were different and stuff. Had you any stories from high school where you had to deal with preppy bitches or dickheads that were kind of like, oh, this girl's strange, this girl isn't like fucking the rest of us?
Okay, sorry if you guys heard me earlier. I was talking to my dog, telling him not to do something. So I'm sorry if it felt like it was directed at anyone.
No, you're good. No. You're okay. Did you hear my question? The last question there.
I didn't catch it.
Okay, so the girls were telling me going to high school and stuff, they're having to deal with fucking because they have different kind of personality and not the usual kind of cookie cutter fucking preppy bitch kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to deal with someone who was like, well, this girl's different, so let's treat her like shit? Did you ever have to deal with
I
that
wasn't
in high
really
school?
treated. I wasn't really treated badly. I would have people more than anything just call me a witch or ask me if I would go around hexing people.
Um, Jen, the poor Jen had people tell other people that she was a witch and was going to curse them.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the boat I was in. Is people were asking, are you gonna curse me? Are you gonna do something to me? I'm like, dude, I don't even know who you are. We just have class together. I don't care.
Jen, I would have played on that. You should have been like, yeah, fucker, I'm going to turn you into a fucking newt. And stand it there and shit.
Missed opportunity. Maybe in another life.
An oxalotl. I'm like, you can live in an aquarium with me for the rest of your life.
But yeah, fucking. Any more weird stories from the internet or any more fucked up kind of facts that any have that you want to
I want to hear
grace?
more about the werewolf with the dicks, the female werewolf with the dicks. I want to hear more about that, darling.
Oh, have you been across the werewolf erotica?
Apparently
you
it's
have.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. I discovered it back when I was in college, and
What
I'm like,
is it?
whoa.
You can buy a
There-
whole
there-
silicone
is that-
werewolf
does-
foot off the internet as a
Ooh.
sex toy. I found that
Jesus.
out.
Wow.
Yeah,
A wolf?
a foot, a werewolf
A foot.
foot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen different ones where it's a foot with a vagina like right underneath it.
Oh. Ooh.
Ooh.
People with foot fetishes. So it's like a pocket pussy, but it's in the shape of a foot.
That's what I was figuring it would be.
That makes me think of like anime, like Vampire Hunter D and shit, where they have like the eye in their hand or a mouth in that, like, no.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm thinking more fucking Wicked City though, Wobbs.
Okay, yeah.
Marty, would you stick your dick in a werewolf foot?
If it had a vagina in it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was implied.
I just figured it.
Squeezing in
This is
between the toes.
In an effort to prove to you I love you, only if it's you in werewolf form, babe.
Aww.
What if that's how you
Garen-
can save her life?
Aw.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, then I have
Garen-
to. I have to.
But
Yeah,
you have
guaranteed
to remember it's a werewolf foot, so you have to do it like you mean it. You know, like you have to hate fuck that foot.
Hey, fucking can be fun sometimes.
Suppose.
wait, does it have to trim its nails first and like look for ticks?
Oh yeah, actually.
Oh.
You better trim your fucking nails because I don't want my bollocks slashed to bits.
I didn't think about that. Like you'd have scratches all over your lower abdomen. You'd probably get stabbed in the belly button a couple of times.
Mm.
Well, that would just be regular sex.
God damn it.
Just think of all the people who thought of this now and are now have a werewolf foot fetish. Like we're helping people. We're introducing them. This is
Yeah.
culture.
I never knew there was a werewolf foot fetish. I've seen the ones about feet fetishes, and I was kind of like, well, I get it. That's kind of cool, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
They're combining genres. They're combining.
We're gonna get-
kinks.
We get to the point where these kinks are going to be so convoluted and it's just going to be a mouthful to say it. You'd be like, oh yeah, we have that foot fetish for clown feet while they're being groomed and hung upside down, suspended in Japanese tie knots while being beaten with a wiffle bat.
Specific
Oh, I
shit.
love
Yeah.
that knot work. That's beautiful.
Shibari. Yeah.
The- I
Marty, you look
I
terrified.
have a weird question, right? No, I'm not terrified, right? Okay, say someone who's blind is going to have sex with Medusa, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so
I like it
Okay,
already.
so she
Right?
has snakes in her hair. Do you think she has little snakes down there as well?
Right?
Yes.
I
She
never
has
thought
to.
She
about
probably
that.
could have
That's
snaky
awesome. Oh,
armpits
shit.
too.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Unless she shaves.
Sometimes people call their wiener a one-eyed monster. Does that mean stone?
Guy Medusas. Ew.
It's more like a lindworm.
Okay. Weird fucking weird monster sexual fetishes.
I like that as a fanfic though, like a blind person with Medusa. I'm into that.
Yeah.
I had never
Romantic.
thought about the pubic snakes though, because that would totally make sense, especially if it's girl on girl. You can work the clit at the same time. And
Right,
then
all the
wear a
little
dildo.
snakes can help. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking, like a blowjob too for a guy. Like,
Oh
it could work
yeah.
on either way.
And
That's
some
what I was
people
thinking.
like to get bitten a little bit.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But just think of it as if she goes to get a Brazilian.
I was just thinking, what if you were a Medusa and all of a sudden the person you're kissing
wait,
starts
wait,
making
if
out with
she
all your
has-
snakes?
If she has snake pubes, then you also have like snakes in that butt fur area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or snakes.
wouldn't
That's
be
not a
too
good
cool.
place to live.
What? Just,
No.
oh, the poor
What?
the poor dude who goes down on her, and his just face is mauled. Just
He
fucking
just all
torn to
the way
shreds.
It
nuts.
could be kisses though, Marty. They could just be like kissing them, like
They
like
give you
little
little-
butterfly kisses.
I'm actually fairly shocked that you're okay with this topic, Jen, because I know
Really?
you're not a fan of snakes.
No,
Ah,
the way you put it, like it's a loving thing. Like I could see it as a very like snakes, but like like in the pretentious part of me is like kind of digging this.
see, it makes me curious because you can get squid dildos, like the tentacles, but can you get a
Mhm.
snake dildo?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you
Probably,
can.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen one.
I'm sure
I
you.
kinda
I'm
wanna
some
Google
sure
it
they
now.
exist.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
even
they
seen
exist.
crystal ones, but it's kind of like, well, that's too smooth. What's it going to do?
Apparently,
Wow.
there's a xenomorph one as well from Bad
I've
Dragon.
seen xenomorph butt plugs.
I've seen the ovipositors. They distribute the jelly egg things inside. I've seen that.
Those things are pretty interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't
Oh.
heard of that one. Is it kind of like an anal chain?
Well, you
Well,
can do
no, it's,
that, or you can do it either way.
Yeah, there's like these. It's like I don't know what they're made of, but they're like little egg things. You put them inside, and and this is very graphic. If you have young children, please cover their ears.
Either that or scoot them closer so they can learn.
But yeah, they're made out of gelatin, so you
Yeah.
could theoretically eat them.
They just dissolve from body heat or whatever. It's very strange.
Is it kind of like that hot to cold thing? Because I can see the appeal in that. Like the cold to hot. I said it backwards.
I
think
I
it's
don't know if
just a
there's a
little
heat
alien
element to the whole thing.
impregnation fetish.
You could put
Well,
it
I
in
mean, like
something.
the jellies are cold, and then with your own body heat, they melt. So it's kind of like
suppose you
you feel
could
like
put
that
them in the-
cold
like the
sensation,
fridge.
and then it goes
Yeah,
hot
that's what I
because
was
of your own body.
Yeah. Yeah, just put them in the fridge for 20 minutes or something, and then you're ready for cold to hot ovipositor action.
Oh,
I know.
shit.
I had a friend, and she liked the.
I didn't even think about the fridge, but yeah, it makes sense.
I had a friend who had the pearls for her on her underwear, and she would put it in the fridge. Yeah.
I always liked the idea of wearing something like that to church.
Yeah. I can see the eroticism in that.
When I was a
well, I mean,
teenager,
I
I
like nun
banged in the
outfits,
basement
so-
in a church for that exact reason, so I get it.
It'd be kind of distracting, though, wouldn't it?
I guess that's kind of the
Well,
point.
and
Yeah, but
well,
church is
especially if
boring.
You're like Catholic because you have to sit, kneel, stand, so you're constantly switching positions.
That's a punishment.
What if you go to-
punishment?
What if you go to one of them crazy, like, snake churches,
I
you're drinking
wanted to go.
strychnine and dancing?
I've always wanted to go, but I've heard that they're very secretive.
Yeah, I'm not going to Snake Church.
No.
I mean, in my opinion, it's easier to go to Snake Church than it is to like Amish or Mormon church.
It would be
Whoa.
interesting.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I have an interest in Mennonites and Amish people. Why, I don't know. They're just interesting.
I find them interesting too, so it's definitely not just you. Now that I know enough about the Mormons, I'm like, never mind. But the Amish, I'm still kind of curious about.
Well, did I say Mormon? I meant Mennonite.
The ones that have buttons. I think there's a big
Yeah.
distinction
Like,
about
they're
buttons.
similar to the Amish, but they're allowed to have electricity.
Yeah,
It's
They
weird.
seem the chill ones.
They're not allowed to have mustache. They have the beard, but they don't get to have the mustache.
Dude, and the beard is a
beard's
sign
only
that you're
if
married?
if you're married.
Yeah. That's because you can't shave off your wedding ring and have it back the next day. So I'm like, that's actually pretty cool.
Well, you know, when it comes to cunnilingus, I think guys with beards are overrated.
I like
Yeah,
beards, but I've definitely had sandpaper situation where
Well, especially if they recently shaved. I'm like, ugh.
yeah. Ooh, yeah.
It can be fun though, if you're in the right mood.
Well, like say if you're a baldy, so you don't have hair in that area to protect you.
Yeah. That's true.
Then
Yeah.
hopefully they use beard oil or they have just freshly shaved, or else no, that'll literally be like grinding on sandpaper.
See, if that's like freshly shaved smooth, I can see the appeal in that, especially if you are bald.
It reminds me of when you shave your legs and you
Kind of
rub
like
your
work
legs
your chin in
together.
there while you're at it.
Right?
I like how Marty's just like, I'm piecing out on this conversation. I can't.
I had noticed that.
He's used to this sort of thing. I don't. Maybe he had something he had to do real quick.
Making tea.
Probably.
There's going to be a compilation of everything we've talked about. It's just, God damn it, all of you.
That would be cool.
It would be funny to have a flash cut of just random fucked up shit that has been said throughout the streams, just all put together.
Well, and that's
Completely out of
considering the stuff I
context.
didn't catch. I just jumped in like way late.
You never know where these streams are gonna go.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, you'd expect it. The sexist view is, oh, you get a bunch of women together, you're going to have a lot of talk about knitting and housekeeping and what
No.
happens. We're talking about
We're
hard.
just as bad as men, maybe worse.
I think so. I think we're actually a little worse because
It's
we're
all hard.
repressed. You know, like
you can be
like society.
comfortable about it. You definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
In a group
all-
of women, yeah, it's easier to let loose.
Hardcore fetishes and fucking weird dildos. That's all we've been talking about.
Oh, that reminds
I'm
me.
so
Have you seen the
curious
dog
about the
dildo?
fringes. Oh, dude, there's so many, and horses, and fucking. I saw one that was for a minotaur because I was like, I don't understand this shape, and then I looked
Oh.
at the title and it said minotaur, and I was like, so that's what a minotaur penis looks like. All right.
Well, now I'm curious.
Bad dragon. It was a bad dragon one.
Hi, darling.
Well, how did it determine what a minotaur's penis looks like? Is it like
Yeah, that's what
a
I'm
bull's
curious about.
penis?
I
Is
don't
it a bull's
know,
penis shape? And
I don't know what a bull
like,
penis
would it
looks
be
like, but it looked very
part
similar
man?
to a horse dick.
I would think it'd be half and half, like the minotaurs. Maybe you've got giant bull
Oh, right.
testicles and then you've got a skinny human
dick.
penis.
Well, that kind of leans back into the whole werewolf fetish. I mean, like they're supposed to be very engorged.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would be wondering about like a were cat or a
Oh,
feline
no.
lycanthrope.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it'd be all spiky.
Oh, it could get worse though. You could be a were duck. Keep that thing the fuck away from me.
And And they're rapists anyway. Ducks are
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
And with their
That-
corkscrew penises.
Well,
Yeah.
the female ducks have deep
Well, don't forget
vaginas,
carps
if I'm
and
not
their
mistaken.
barbed
They do.
penises when they lock with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Humans kind of got it pretty good as far as it could go with the sex stuff.
I still can't believe no one mentioned the giant knot thing with the fucking werewolf penis. Like, it just totally glazed right over that.
Fucking
I know
nuts.
so many
Ugh.
furries that's like normal shit to me at this point. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Fucking what was it? There's this chick, she's a big fucking Star Wars fan, and she paid, I don't know, like $1.5 grand to get a customized fucking Wookiee penis.
Oh.
And it's like it's got all kinds of knots in it. So obviously someone really isn't a Star Wars lore, or they've got some really fucked up headcanon. That's
It was a what penis?
Wookie.
Chewies. Not
Ah.
Chewie, is it? The bite. Sorry. I mean, like the
I-
Wookiee, Chewie.
No, that starts me thinking on Star
Yeah.
Trek, like those guys that have all those ridges on their heads. I forget what.
Oh,
they're
what does their
called.
dick
Or
look like? A
Klingon.
Klingon. Yeah, they
Yeah,
probably got
Klingon.
knobby ass
That's-
dicks. Good
That's
point.
the penis you want to clean on too.
Oh,
Well,
but
they have a thing of like the Klingon sex things. There's like I know people who like there's a book where you can do it like Klingons, and it's very warlike and aggressive.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
almost like a
cosplay
fight.
I feel-
thing.
Yep.
Huh.
I
You have to
feel
bite
really
the
bad
female.
for Strange Monkey just came in, expecting. He was really excited for the Resident Evil stream,
oh no.
and we're now talking about extraterrestrial penises. Yeah, I blame Jen.
Yeah, but nobody mentioned the xenomorph dick because their tongues are already crazy. What's the lower half look like?
Ooh, one coming out of another. That's something.
They don't reproduce that way, though.
No, they don't.
Mike says
But
Klingon
you still
cocks
need
are
some form of
basically-
secretion in order for the eggs to form.
Yeah, there's
Unless
okay.
the-
Yeah, it's called egg morphine, but there's also an indication that they have, and this is only contained to the first movie. The character, Veronica Cartwright's character, it's heavily
Mhm.
implied that she's sexually assaulted by the xenomorph in the first movie.
Oh.
I missed that.
The-
And I
the-
love those movies, and I never caught that.
Well, here's the thing, and it's a bit of a cheat, and it's a bit of a thing. So what happens is there's a scene with the tail going between her legs. So that's the implication there. But the thing is, that was added later on. That's actually Harry Dean Stanton's legs. The tail is going between. But they cut that scene from early on in the movie and then put it into the scene where Lambert is. So it gives the connotation that she's about to be violated.
Oh, okay, so it's like a very subtly implied.
Oh, yeah.
See, it reminds me of that movie Never Been Kissed. Have you seen it? Like, there's a scene where a water bottle leaks from Drew Barrymore's backpack, and it's landing between her legs. So to me, it always implied that she gets wet for the guy that she's talking to.
You know, I never thought about that because it's been so long since I've watched it. But if that isn't what it meant, like, yeah, there's no way that's not.
Yeah, I mean, like they present it as she's peeing, but it's kind of like, well, what if it's not pee?
Yeah.
Because she really has a crush on that guy.
I'm actually wondering, is there Jen, is there any scenes in a movie that you've thought that they've had kind of sexual hidden connotations?
Well, sure, everything's a connotation with me. I can't think of any right at the moment, but yeah, I mean that I think there is a lot of stuff that you can read into and imply.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Never Been Kissed is the first one that comes to mind. I even made a video on it.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah. Is there any other topic that you ladies want to discuss that doesn't involve penises or I'm not gaslighting, by the way. I was the
Well,
one who ended up.
there's always the underappreciated fingers.
Yeah.
Although
I lost all my notes since the dicks are off conversation.
And me thinking she's just a dodgy water bottle. Now I'll have to explain to people when my water bottle leaks, I'm not getting talking to them. Cara, have you seen any of the Resident Evil movies or played any of the games?
It's been a long time. Like the first one's the one that sticks with me the most. I don't remember if I've seen the one where she's in the desert, kind of like doing like
That's the third one.
Okay, that's the third one. I don't remember if I've seen it. I want to say I have. If there's a school bus scene in it.
Yeah, there is. Ashanti gets the musician Ashanti plays a character in it, and she's killed by crows. She's pecked to death by crows. Yeah, those movies just got more ridiculous as they went on.
Well, every franchise does. I've had yet to see one that stays serious and scary the entire time. Like, I don't know, would you say Saw would be a good one that just kind of stayed serious, or did that one go ridiculous also?
I think that, yeah, like fucking the lead singer from fucking Christ, Jen, help me out here.
I know my brain is off kilter right now, but I know what you're talking about.
Dexter, fucking Christ.
Oh, the Linkin Park guy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he has to try and escape a car that he basically plays a neo-Nazi, and his buddies are tied up to traps, and he's being glued to the seat of a car, and if he doesn't get to the handbrake, the car's going to roll over his girlfriend's head. But it's okay, they're neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
But, it's weird. It's a weird movie.
I'm looking forward to the new one.
I just know they put out a movie and a game together. Like they usually try to sync them up to get like cross promotion.
Mike Tarm says, I hate the live action movies. Don't mind the animated ones. Animated ones are okay. Never played the games, but enjoyed the Netflix series that was released. That Netflix series was fucking terrible, Mike. There was a rocket-powered crocodile in that.
I never finished that one.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to explain something, and I'm going to try and explain this as delicately as I can. I have
delicately.
No
we were just talking about psycho penises.
But I'm going to try. I'm going to fucking try anyway. So I have no problem with changing a character to another race, but make sure when you switch the character's race and put them into another character's costume, that they don't end up looking like another. I'm really bad at explaining this. So they made Albert Wesker African American, which I am 100% okay with, but they dressed him in Albert Wesker's Resident Evil 5 garb. And as a result, he doesn't look like Albert Wesker. He looks like fucking Blade. This whole time I'm watching this series, which is shit anyway, I'm like, they've made Blade. They've accidentally made fucking Blade. God damn. Oh, fuck. It's like, again, I hope I wasn't coming off as insensitive. I don't mind you switching the kind of the race of a character If it works, it works. That's cool. But if you switch the race of the character, make sure you don't end up making them look like a completely different character from a different. Like, did anyone else watch that show and think that? Has anyone watched that fucking Resident
Chris, you
Evil?
did.
Yeah,
Chris,
and they made him look like Blade.
yeah.
Oh,
Among other problems, I know there was a lot. You guys talked about it, like all the problems.
yeah,
So
there's Albert Wesker clones, and they're like the Three Stooges, and there's a crocodile, a zombie crocodile that has rocket powers, and
What?
it's just Christ. And there's a woman who is her brain is hijacked, and she's made dance to Dua Lipa. I can't pronounce the fucking musician's name. Dua
Dua
Lipa.
Lipa.
Dua Lipa.
Yeah,
That's the one. That's the one.
I love her.
She's remote controlled. I have no problem with her music, but there's a scene. There's supposed to be this really intense scene, and all of a sudden she starts miming and dancing exactly like, because your one has hooked up her MP3 player to this woman's brain. It's just, what the fuck are you doing?
80s throwback.
Mike does bring up a good point, though, but giant mutant animals. He does have a point.
Honest to God, man. Seriously, yeah, no, you're better off. They ended again. I have no problem with race swapping a character, but just make sure that he doesn't end up looking like a character. Oh, Christ, I'm trying to. I don't know if I've explained myself correctly. It's really fucking bugging me. You because the character is a particular color, you ended up making him look like someone totally different to what you were trying to make him look like. And I was like, God damn.
And
Sorry.
they could have just
They
given him his own outfit.
Yeah,
They should have made him an They should have made him an Eskimo. They should have made him an Eskimo. Confusing.
Whatever. It's just they gave Lance Riddick an awesome actor, fantastic actor, a buzz cut, a black-haired buzz cut, sunshades, and a black leather jacket. And
Yeah,
Kevlar
that's
body
pretty
armor.
iconically Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, Christ. I always worry.
They were
I
like,
come off
enough
as
times
racist.
passed.
I just worry I come across as racist as saying that. I don't. I'm not. I'm just like, Christ. It's
No,
like,
I think anybody with, enough sense would understand where you're coming from. It's just
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially the people that are diehard about the whole series. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of the same arguments going around, even maybe about different characters or similar. Kind of like when they say, "Oh, well, this wasn't true to such and such," but I know it was a reference.
I don't know. I feel like it should be okay to have a problem with different interpretations of characters because they're not what the character was intended to be in the first place. I don't feel like that should be a hot button issue. And I think, like, as a society, we've all been gaslighted by the people who'd claim that you're racist if you something and it's got some sort of bearing on what a person looks like in a fictional property. And I don't know, I just think it's bullshit that everybody is made to feel a certain way and have to stumble words or try to phrase things in a way or try to have to reiterate that they're not racist or bigoted because they have a problem with a certain interpretation. I just feel like, what the hell? Why can't everyone just state what their opinion, judge negatively because an opinion that might not seem a certain way? I don't know.
It's interesting because I'm a big Tudor Girl fan. Like, I love the Tudors, and they did a few years ago. They did another movie on Anne Boleyn, but the character or the actress was playing her was black, and a lot of people had different feelings about it. And they said because it was an actual historical person, they should have gotten someone to play her that was the same race. And people were going back and forth with that.
I think that's a dumb thing to make an argument about. Same thing with the Little Mermaid. It's like, who
That
cares what
the Little
color they
Mermaid
are?
shit is so stupid. I
Yeah.
honestly feel like unless the plot of the story is based on like race or racial tension or
Yeah.
something around that, then who gives a fuck? Like, I
Yeah.
remember the first time I watched something where it was set in like Victorian court times or like whatever time, like French court shit. And I noticed that the court had like a multi-ethnic cast. And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then I thought about it and then I was like, no, because everything in this is dealing with classism. They're not talking
Yeah.
about any sort of racial shit. So what fucking difference does it make? Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
I think people are too hung up on it and overthinking. Like the ones making the argument about, the race shouldn't have been changed. It's, as far as I'm concerned, they're closet racist.
it feels like it, because honestly, I fucking loved The Little Mermaid. That was like my thing when I was little. And to have somebody
Yeah.
have a problem with that, it just seems like such a non-issue to me, like at all.
Yeah. I mean, I
Also,
didn't
she's a
understand the whole
mermaid?
argument. Yeah.
So what's the difference?
They probably would have had just as much a problem if they turned Ariel into an eel girl.
Right.
I feel like it's more of it's a crappy movie than anything, but like that's not the conversation anybody ever has. I mean, I feel like I said again, I'm gonna say it again. I feel like it's okay to have a problem how characters depicted in a film, or like it should be okay to say like I don't like this, or this
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it should be like this in a movie. I don't think that's necessarily the only time I would say that it's a racist thing is if you're saying it because specifically, you're like, you say something like, I don't like people of this certain race, or I don't like people of this certain religion. Like, that's racist. Like, that's a racist statement. But saying like, oh, well, gee, she redhead and should be white. Well, like, that's not necessarily a racist statement. That's just like, that's what you want the character to be. Like, I mean, obviously, who cares really in the grand scheme of things? It's all nonsense, like bullshit internet arguments. Like, I don't know. I mean, is it a hill to die on? No. But
No.
is it
That's
really
the
a...
thing, is I agree with you. It's like you can totally like have a non-popular opinion, but I feel like most of the people that are going on about it excessively, on the internet or otherwise, like when you won't let it fucking go, then that's kind of a hint to more than just an issue with the film.
The thing
Well,
everyone got wrong with Little Mermaid is they didn't give it the right ending from the book. That's what
She
pissed
starved
me
to
off.
death.
I want
Yeah,
that.
see that? Yeah.
Hardcore.
I love that. I always wanted that. I was like, but everyone dies. How come they didn't give him that ending?
That's pretty romantic if you think about it. It's kind
I
of
do
like,
too.
I'm dead, but you refuse to leave my side. Kind of like Quasimodo and Esmeralda. It's kind of like it was delayed, but they died together, and it's because they loved each other that much.
That's me and couple golds for Marty.
What?
You wouldn't leave my corpse's side, would you, darling?
What if I need to go number 1 or 2?
I'm dead.
You
What do
hold
I
it.
care?
Right? Whip it out.
Yeah.
I'm alive. Whip it out. I'll hold it for you.
I don't know. That's a whole different level right there, especially if and that kind of goes into mermaid fetishism. It's like mermaids don't have holes, so where do you screw it from?
Unless you got a reverse mermaid, and then who the fuck wants the fish half on top? Like,
I'm thinking of fucking Futurama.
oh
Yeah, you gotta...
fertilize my eggs in the corner. Yes.
Well, she's got a mouth, Marty. She's got a mouth.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah,
they're
but
like
it's
salmon?
Name.
They gotta swim upstream. So you gotta meet them upstream and swim over the eggs, and
I'm not hiking for shit.
Val, do you want the link? I'll drop the link in there and let Val in if she wants. But Yeah, no, my only thing is, so long as the plot isn't shit, I don't care if I don't care about changes, so long as like they're not forced. That if it works organically, like I think that's the most important thing.
Like my opinion is if you change all sorts of different things up for like I don't know, I want to kind of statement, or I want to do this and make that kind of statement, it better be damn entertaining. Like if I'm gonna accept a movie that's a remake of another movie, or it's a imagining of a literal work, like in certain aspects, like I just want it to be a good film. Like I can make peace with whatever the hell they do with these characters, these scenarios, but it just better be damn good. Because if it's a shit movie and then you've done good shit to everything else and you've made it so different and such a departure from certain parts of the original work, then I mean you've accomplished nothing. You've taken no real and you've ruined the film on top of it. Also, like there's nothing to really catch somebody who's a fan of it, and there's nothing to really grab somebody from who isn't a fan of it and make them one. You know, so like just make a good movie, and it won't matter what. That's my.
I mean, that reminds me of Dangerous Liaisons, where it had been remade as Cruel
Yeah.
Intentions. Like, would you say that's an example that they cruddied it up or modernizing it actually helped the film?
Well, yeah, I could say that.
I like Cruel Intentions, and I knew
Yeah, I
what
like it.
I knew what they were doing. I knew danger, and a few of my friends didn't, but I'm like, oh, they've already done this. But cool,
Yeah,
it was a book, guys. but
yeah,
I enjoyed it. Where I think it was good, and like, but then they've always kind of modernized stuff. I mean, you take
yeah.
them and everything.
I mean, I've seen both. I enjoy them. They both have very different feels. They're different enough to where a young person can enjoy it and they don't have to bother going back to the first one, or they can just say, well, that's boring, but they still learn the story
Mhm.
differently. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think people should see both of them, actually. I think you're
Yeah.
kind of doing yourself a disservice if you don't see both.
Well, not just that, but I mean, the original one has an awesome cast. Who was it? Michelle Pfeiffer, John Malkovich, and I forget, Glenn Close.
Close, yeah. And she gives a fantastic performance.
That's
Yeah.
actually that's actually not the first interpretation. There's one with Colin Firth and Jennifer Tilly. Shit, I need to
Oh.
find.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
I've
about
seen
that.
one.
I love Tilly though.
I do too.
Oh,
Trying to think. Shit. Give me a sec. I'll try and find it. Because I was telling Jen about it there. I came across it. Christ.
I remember you telling me about it now that you say that.
And Firuza Balk was in it as well.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah, I
come on.
remember you did.
Oh, that has
Give me
me
a sec.
thinking about Dr. Moreau now.
That's a good one. I'm so
I
glad that
like
movie got
that
made.
movie.
I
Yeah,
love
did you
it,
watch the
despite all of its
documentary on it?
problems.
Uh-huh. I still
I
like
feel
Bill
like that-
Finger, but man, he seemed like a dick in the documentary.
that's
Yeah.
a whole stream unto itself. Marty, there's a Dr. Moreau stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I got the documentary on Blu-ray. Fucking.
It's
what's it
good.
called again? The Damned or fucking. Oh Christ! It'll come back to me.
Something Souls. All Souls.
Yeah. Island of Lost Souls. Also the version, the 1989 version is called Valmont, and it stars Colin Firth, Annette Bening, Firuza Balk, and I made a mistake. It's Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly. Okay, the older
Wow.
Tilly.
Yeah. It
That's
came
not
out
as exciting.
in 1989.
Meg
So,
Tilly was
yeah,
in
that was
Meg
was
Tilly's still a good actor.
before the yeah.
I want to read her books. I know she's got a couple of books that I've never been able to track them down.
I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, and they're pretty out there from what I've heard, but I've heard they're good.
Hmm. You had me at out there.
Jen, was she Moss Sire in the Leatherface prequel?
No, you're thinking of somebody else. I can't think of the
Okay.
actress. She's a character actress, that you know her if you see her, and I can't think of her name.
Lynn
but-
Shay?
No, it wasn't Lynn Shay. It was somebody. She played the actress usually plays oddballs. I can't think of her name. She's a character actress, and she usually plays kind of oddballs. She was in 6 Feet Under. She was
Lily Taylor. Lily
Not the-
Taylor.
not the dark-haired one, but the other one, the really clingy one. I can't think of her
Oh, I
name.
was thinking the lady from Butcher Baker.
She might have been in that, I think, actually. But yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
that's about right.
It's Jen. It's Lily Taylor.
Yeah, she was in 6 Feet Under. She played Nate's clingy girlfriend. Not the dark-haired girl, but the other one, the one that dies at the
I
end.
don't know. The first girlfriend that comes to mind is the one with the pistol tattoo down the legs.
No, not that one. The one that she had a baby with him, and then clingy. She plays usually oddball characters, but yeah, you're right, Marty.
Yeah, she's actually got a bunch of Fangoria awards because she's turned up in so many horror movies. The Haunting.
Yep.
What else? Premonition, The Conjuring,
She
Leatherface,
didn't say anything.
Eli. Yeah. X-Files, Mind's Eye, 6 Feet Under, Almost Human, Crime, Outer Range. Okay. But I think I'm kind of like with Ethel that if a change works for the story, go with it.
Yeah.
And so long as it doesn't if it works, bring it in, but just don't put it in there for the sake of pleasing kind of a board or a focus group, because that's the worst thing that's been done to films.
Like the
focus groups.
fanfare and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to be pandered to.
Right?
No.
Like, I know loads of people that love fucking Marvel, the Marvel movies. They love Endgame, Avengers Endgame, and the battle at the end was really cool. But that kind of forced girl power moment with all the female superheroes, just like what was happening? Did the battle just stop for them to make a pose? You know what scene? Does anyone know what scene I'm talking about? It was so cringy.
I don't know. It just felt kind of like they were doing the whole, like women empowerment type thing.
But it felt so forced, though.
It did.
It didn't feel natural.
No, like, was all the other male Avengers on the battlefield just going, the fuck are they doing over there? Like,
a better, more natural way to do that scene would be like in The Boys, where they take on Stormfront.
oh yeah. They lampooned that. They lampooned that in The Boys, Ethel.
Yeah, but it's ironic because it came off more natural in The Boys.
Yeah, it was just the three of them just kicking the shit out of the one on the ground.
Yeah, but it made sense because, well, yeah, of course, it's going to be those three because who the fuck else is there to do it? You know what I mean?
But
If you do it wrong like that, you'll hurt your own message. If you do it wrong, I've seen a lot of movies where they try to give an agenda and it's not for the right reasons. If you do it for the right reasons, it'll come across well. I just watched a movie called Birth and Rebirth, and there's empowerment, women empowerment, but they had to cross some really hard roads to get there, and they didn't exactly make the women look great, but it's more human and relatable.
I mean, they were doing it in the 90s also. Things like Fried Green Tomatoes, Joy Luck Club.
Yeah.
The thing is, it felt more natural, and those are actually stories I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joy Luck Club was good.
Mm-hmm.
Man in the
I mean,
Moon.
especially the fact that the woman felt that she was forced to drown her first son. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. What's it about?
I'm bad with plots about movies I haven't seen in a long time. I would need help with that one. But I just remember the woman had like an abusive husband. I think he prized the son over the wife. The wife was just window dressing, and then she finally decides to leave him. But I don't remember the reason why she killed the son, other than the guy would pursue her if she still had the kid.
There, do you know one movie that's kind of like it's female empowerment, but it's not done in a shitty kind of fucking cringy kind of way. Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen Thelma and Louise?
No, I've never
It's
seen it.
it's fucking brilliant. It's one movie everyone always forgets. Oh yeah, Ridley Scott did that. It's like
And Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I mean, I know the ending just because I caught it on TV one day, and it was already at the tail end. But I mean, everybody knows the ending anyway.
I ended up finding out the ending from The Simpsons before I saw the movie. Oh, organic waste! I could almost kiss you. And to think those stupid environmentalists didn't want this landfill in the canyon. But yeah. I'm probably going to finish it up here, but before I do, I'm going to let people plug their stuff. So, Jen, what's next up for the Jen's Reviews from the Grave?
It might be a little slow right now because I'm still under the weather and Christian's got it really bad right now. But we're working on projects for October, and hopefully we'll have a Tales from the Crypt episode out sometime this week, as well as on Saturday finish up our ranking of our tier list we're doing.
Cool, sweet. Wobbs, when are you on Twitch again?
Pretty much every night except for Monday night. Yeah.
Cool. Are you playing anything, or are you going to
I'm
be
probably
watching
going to be
any
playing
movies?
more Starfield tonight.
Cool.
I've been pretty addicted to that.
Awesome. So yeah, check out Bob's Twitch channel. Ethel, have you anything that you want to try and plug, or you hope to get done?
Monday is looking pretty good for Director's Spotlight. Obviously, Marty, you know what the topic is. I'm not going to announce it yet, but yeah, you director in question is. Get that Monday.
Cool. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Cara, is there any streams or watch-alongs or anything that you want to plug?
Lady Sasha and I are doing Cobwebs this coming Saturday. Doing a movie discussion on it.
Good movie. Well, I liked it. I liked it, Marty.
I liked it. I liked it up until the end. And then I was like,
don't tell me. I haven't seen it.
Oh no,
Okay.
we won't tell you anything. It's what people come away with very different views on this. I know a couple people like me who really love this movie, and then there's a couple people that have some issues. Christian and Marty had some issues.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a bad movie.
Already, be quiet. Hush. I'm talking to my daughter.
Well, so that's this Saturday, right, Cara?
Yes. Let me see. That's 2 Central, 3 Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah, and 12 Pacific.
Cool beans. Cool. So definitely check out these ladies' channels. I'm probably going to be doing some figure reviews because I suffered from a bit of a fucking bad bout of depression, so I decided to spend 70 euros on action figures. So expect a review of them fairly soon. So with that, yeah, I'm going to end it here. But big thanks to everyone who stopped in. Mike, Strange Monkey, Vel, who else had we in the chat? 2-Day Rental, Scottish Geek Guy, and everyone else. Thanks a million for stopping in. Weird chat, fun chat, but awesome chat, mainly because of some awesome guests. So yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Adios.
Bye.